Admiral Stavridis, as a military man yourself, I'm curious, just on a gut level, what you're feeling this morning as you look at the faces of these men who did nothing short of saving the world beginning on D-Day.
Pride in the United States of America, that we produce young men and women who do all of this. On the 50th anniversary of D-Day 25 years ago, I was a young destroyer captain, and I was honored to be ordered to anchor my ship off the beach at Omaha the morning before the ceremony you're about to see. My crew got up at dawn, unrequired. Every crew member, 350 men and women, average age 25 years old, stood, watched the sun come up on that beach, paying homage to the young men of Pointe du Hoc. We were anchored not far from there. So that's first and foremost. And then secondly, to pick up a practical theme of today, which I think you'll hear repeated, recall 15 allies, 15 different allies were participating in that landing. The British, the Canadian, many of the European nations, some of them fighting in exile after their countries had been conquered. So as I looked left and right, I saw ships from a dozen different nations. Alliances matter. They mattered that day. On Hitler's side, there was one nation. It was Germany. He had to stand against an alliance. I think those are the two salient themes for me on this morning: pride in young Americans and the power of alliances.
You know, Admiral, in watching these pictures and listening to Michael Beschloss and Willie just now, the idea that in the prior segment we went to talk about American politics and listened to an interview with Donald Trump from Sean Hannity, it makes our politics look so small in contrast to what we're looking at here. And I'm wondering if you think there is one single MAGA hat, Make America Great Again, worn by anyone walking through those, chalk white crosses and Stars of David at the American Cemetery in Normandy. And it makes me wonder, America was great that day. America is still great today. What have we lost in between?
Well, all is not lost. And I was thinking, as we watch these pictures and we talk about these brave young men, there are other brave young men and women who stood and delivered after 9/11. You can look at those pictures of high school football teams and tennis teams and cross-country teams, and you will see the faces of men and women who stood, raised their right hand, volunteered, went forward. 7,500 of them killed in what were called the Forever Wars. I think that spirit is still out there. I want to pick up on a point that Michael Beschloss correctly pointed to, which is President Eisenhower, then General Eisenhower, and his resolute determination to take responsibility, to be accountable. And there was every chance this invasion, Operation Overlord, D-Day, Neptune, would have failed. And he literally wrote out the speech, and you can go to the Eisenhower Library and look at that scrap of paper where he says, any blame or fault will be mine alone. And underneath mine alone, he ran a bold, dark line. That kind of accountability is what we need, I think, at every level. And so, again, when I look at the young people of today, who are all volunteers who joined the military, I think you can drop a plumb line to these young men on the beaches of Normandy. Let's hope that continues into the future. I could not agree more. And let me just pick out a phrase, which is thank you for your service. And we who are veterans hear that constantly. It is very welcome, and I'm glad that we do that. We need to take take that concept and broaden it. There are so many ways to serve this country, not just the military. It's Peace Corps, Volunteer for America, Teach for America, school teachers in packed classrooms making $37,000 a year. You think she's serving the country? Boy, I do. Diplomats, CIA officers, police, firefighters, emergency medical technicians. So to Richard's point, what we need is a sense of obligation to our society that is rewarded and incentivized. I'll tell you, every time I see a policeman or a fireman or a teacher or a returning Peace Corps volunteer, I walk up and say, thank you for your service. We need to broaden that concept.